Hello everyone, this is Boricua Binks and welcome back to Let's Play Seduce Me. In the last episode, we had another nightmare and I'm kind of blanking. Sorry, I don't remember what happened. Okay. Well, that's unprofessional, Binks. Anyway, let's just continue on, shall we? I think, yeah, we finished the party. I don't know. I give up. Okay, I looked at my phone to check the time once again. It was noon, yet it felt like I had slept for much longer. Why is time going so slowly? I sighed, got changed into normal clothes, and went out to the main hall and sat on the stairs. Sundays were very boring. Oh yeah, we had coffee, didn't we? I just remembered that. However, the muffled sounds of battle caught my attention. Uh-oh, what's going on? Huh? I quickly went out to the backyard in response to the noise I had heard. In the yard were all 5 of the boys practicing fighting. Sam was in the middle with the other 4 surrounding him and throwing punches and kicks at him. That doesn't sound very fair, but then again... Oh, yeah, it says it here. Sam, being the strongest of the bunch, blocked and dodged each almost masterfully. I don't know, should I disturb them? I kind of don't think I should. What should I do? How am I supposed to know what the right thing to do in this case is? Okay, I'm not gonna disturb them. I just watched. The boys were very much in their own world, focusing on the training they all were in. It was better not to disturb them. I checked the time and decided to head inside to the kitchen. I was getting hungry and I'm sure the boys would need to eat soon, so lunch was a must. And you can't have them cooking for you all the time. Might as well make lunch today. It's been a while since I cooked. You gonna make them some arroz con pollo? Something like that. Nice Puerto Rican dish. Lunch wasn't particularly hard. I decided to make pizza, simple chicken and rice. See? Chicken and rice. That's exactly what I just said. Arroz con pollo. I don't know. I mean, cause what if they don't like chicken and rice? I mean, yeah, you can't go wrong with pizza, but maybe just for a lunch, cold cut sandwiches? Seems like you can't get that wrong. I don't know. I think cold cut sandwiches is so boring though. I don't know if this is important or not. I'm gonna do chicken and rice though, cause I'm Latina and that's what we eat, okay? Gotta keep their energy and strength up with protein. I took my time to make almost perfect chicken breasts alongside some rice. Cooking wasn't hard unless you didn't know what you were doing in the first place. Debatable, but okay. Sometimes things just go wrong. I placed the food in the dining room. However, none of the boys were there by the time I brought the final dish out. I carried that dish to the main lobby, catching the boys separating into different rooms of the house. Part of me wanted to go to one in particular. The other part of me wanted to just leave them be and take the food in my hand to my room and eat. Maybe I could go out today while the boys focus on training? I see. So if I wanted to pursue a different route, I could just ignore them. But I am interested in one of the boys, so of course I'm gonna go find him. I quickly rushed back and grabbed a second food dish before hunting down one of the boys. See, they already know which one I want. Based on the choice I made before. I found James in the library, sitting in one of the comfy leather seats reading a book. As I stepped in, James looked up at me before closing the book and standing.
Oh, hello.
Hi there, how you doing? Hey, James, I got some lunch for you.
That is very kind of you. Thank you.
James took his food and sat back down, placing the book he was reading on the table in front of him and setting the dish on his lap.
I'm sorry. I should have asked you first before exploring the house and finding this room.
Hey, you live here too. Oh no, you're fine. Remember, you live here too, so any room besides mine is free to be in.
Still, you're the master of the house. I should have asked.
It's fine, really. James nodded at me with an understanding smile before eating his food. I followed along and ate with him, taking the open chair beside his. We ate in silence, listening to the ambiance of the room. Soon, however, I began to feel a little restless. Check out the book? Don't worry about it. Of course I'm curious what he's reading. I put my food down on the table and lifted the book to examine it. Love and Romance, a study of intimacy. Oh, well that's interesting. Just a little light reading, James? James let out a small, nervous cough before he stopped eating and placed his food on the table.
Demons and humans are very different when it comes to affairs of the heart. I merely wanted to try learning a little more while I had the chance. I found that while I was looking around the room and had only just begun reading.
Oh, yeah, sure. Love is different to demons? How so? James smiled before crossing his legs, getting comfy for the small lecture he was about to give. Yes, teach me, Professor James. I'm all ears.
Love isn't just a human emotion, miss. Demons like us feel them too. In fact, incubi and succubi feel emotions the most because of our link to sexual energy. However, we don't really experience love. We know of lust and passion.
Oh. But passion drives love.
For humans, yes. For demons, it fuels our need to breed and increase the strength of our lineage as well as quells the hunger we have for sexual energy. It's very hard for us to develop feelings from passion, despite how easy it may logically seem.
Oh. You hunger for energy? I could tell I struck a nerve with James. As I mentioned the word hunger, his arm twitched, obviously wanting to do something other than remain on the armrest of his chair. He continued speaking regardless.
Sexual energy is our natural food source and is one of two ways to keep us alive. In the abyssal planes, there are many demons to feed off of who are always willing to give their energy up, so sexual hunger is never an issue.
Are you hungry, James?
In the human world, however, we've come to realize that getting energy is a little more difficult.
Can't you just touch a human for their energy like you all did with me?
That only gives us so much. A touch is merely a taste, while intimate sex is a banquet for us.
Oh. Oh, I see. I guess that was true. Humans weren't all about sex and were probably a lot more conservative than demons, at least. It would be hard to gain sexual energy from a human without doing something to them or catching them in the right mood.
This is why we have a mind-altering ability to convince humans to give in to their desires. It's not 100% effective, but it gives us a better possibility to get what we need.
Oh, I see. What if you don't feed on sexual energy? What's the other way to stay alive?
Food, typically. However, we're weak without actual sexual energy. Without sexual energy, we become less than human. We have no power nor moral consciousness. We basically start to become unfriendly.
Oh no. Quick, have sex! I'm just kidding. Kind of. I didn't mean with me, I'm just saying... okay, never mind. I don't know what I should say right now. I don't want to open the floodgates. This is awkward. I'm curious though. Are you hungry now? Oh boy. James didn't reply. He simply stared at me, unable to answer. However, I could tell that he was. He was clutching the armrest tightly, digging his fingers into the leather. I gently leaned close to him from my chair and reached to brush my fingers over his hand. If you really need energy, I'll help a little. No sex, but enough to stop the hunger, okay? That's what I would have done. If it's just a little hand-on-hand contact, I think that's fine. Once again, I was greeted with silence from James. He seemed very nervous and uncertain about what to do. Now that the approval was there, oh, he's so sweet, compared to Sam, who just took it. My first kiss, punk. He was also frozen from my touch, softly and barely twitching at the feel of my skin against his. I could feel his hand grip the armrest harder. Oh boy, he's probably really fighting to hold back. A small feeling of boldness then ran through my body, forcing me to cover his hand completely with my own before leaning nose to nose with James in seriousness. Girl, that is very forward. Alter my mind if you're concerned about me. I really do want to help you out. All of a sudden, I felt something in my mind snap and ooze into the warm, fluffy feeling I felt before with Sam and Eric. Oh boy. I felt my body slightly heat up as James released the armrest and gently took my wrist. He gently pulled me out of my chair and onto his lap. Excuse you? I was just holding your hand. You're going a little further. Onto his lap, having me straddle him with my thighs. He stared deep into my eyes, his own glowing in hunger that I never would have expected to see from him.
I won't go overboard.
You're stealing a kiss too now, huh? Before I knew it, his lips were pressed hard against mine, my head being pulled to his by his hand on the back of my neck. I gently moved my hands to his shoulders and chest, melting in his lap and enjoying every feeling that ran through my body. I felt hot, desperate, and in need for more than just his kiss. Uh-oh. One of my hands slid up his neck into his hair as James lowered his kisses to my neck, gently groaning against my skin. I couldn't help but let out a small whimper of pleasure before reaching up and covering my mouth. Yeah, that's kind of embarrassing. I didn't want the others to hear me, and I was positive neither did James. James lowered his free hand to my lower back. You mean your butt? Pulling my body against his. I felt my energy slowly draining, causing me to cuddle closer to James's hold on me. He lowered his hand to my waist, squeezing it tightly as his tongue ravished my neck. His hand that was on the back of my neck, however, gently came around and held onto a tail of my bow. My bow? You mean that one? On your front? Oh, okay. I sucked in a breath, but James didn't pull it to untie the bow. Okay, thank goodness. James lifted his lips from my neck and gently leaned his forehead to mine, rubbing nose to nose with me. He was gently breathing fast, softly red in the face, and as deep into the moment as I was.
I won't go any further if you don't want me to.
Yeah, I don't think you should. I could feel the hold of his mind-altering spell fade away, but I still felt hot. Something told me that I wanted more, but at the same time, I wasn't sure if I truly did want to give anymore. We're gonna stop. I think you've done enough. You should be not hungry anymore. I gently pushed James back against the seat, smiling tiredly. Plus, that would have drained me, dude. I would have been out like a light. Let's stop here. I'm getting a little dizzy. James almost instantly grew a concerned face, sitting up with me still in his lap. A glaze of guilt ran across his eyes as he moved his hand from the bow on my blouse. He's such a gentleman, stopping right when I ask him to.
I'm very sorry for that. You didn't have to do that with me.
I giggled softly before lifting my finger to his lips, hushing him. Ooh, sorry. Headphones. I then smiled. It was my choice, James. I wanted to help. James stared at me before gratefully smiling and nodding in agreement.
Very well. Thank you.
You're welcome. I pulled myself off of his lap and slowly stood up, feeling slightly wobbly. As I felt my body lean back, James quickly stood up and held my body against his to balance me. That's really tiring. Please don't go any further than that. I might die.
Are you all right? I may have taken too much.
I couldn't even respond back. Weakness poured over me. I gripped onto him, trying to find my balance once again, but I remained almost limp against James's body. How is a relationship going to work between us if you keep sucking out energy anytime we touch each other. That's not good. James let out a worried sigh before lifting me bridal style and carrying me to my room, laying me in bed. As I looked up at him, he brushed a strand of hair from my face to the side. I felt weak and felt like closing my eyes, so I did. I let myself fall back into the darkness of sleep, knowing I was safe and comfy in my bed. James lingered in my dreams, reminding me of the kiss we shared. I felt happy. I felt relaxed. I was going to sleep for a good while. The remainder of the night passed by, surprisingly uneventful. The boys continued to train with each other, but were kind enough to stop and make me dinner. I was glad for that. Unsurprisingly, the food was perfect, but I felt a little empty without the boys to eat with me. They most likely had already eaten, but still, I felt lonely. I couldn't let it bother me. I ate and went back to my room to study and sleep. Surprisingly, I felt good going to bed that night. I felt like I could have a peaceful sleep after the previous rough nights I had. I felt good. And you know what happens in these stories? If you're happy, that means something's gonna go wrong. Probably. I drifted to sleep and woke up almost flawlessly the next morning. No grogginess, no aches, perfectly energized and bright-eyed. Man, how long has it been since I got that much good sleep? I looked to my alarm clock. I woke up 10 minutes before my alarm. I do that all the time. Hey, I must be lucky today. Karma owed me some luck. Oh, you're just jinxing it now. After all I had gone through in merely a handful of days, I deserved to get some good luck. Ecstatic for the day ahead, I turned off my alarms before they could ring and got dressed. However, my phone started to quickly buzz from an incoming text. Huh? Who's texting me this early? Who else?
Yo, Anderson! You're carpooling with us from now on. We're not letting you waste your money on a bus. Get ready and be at your gate at 7 stat.
Aw, that's nice. But 7, ugh, so early. I smiled. My friends were the best. I couldn't drive yet, and I didn't have a car, so it was awesome that my friends would let me carpool. I need friends who will let me carpool with them. It would make my life so much easier. All right. I checked the time. 6:30. Okay. Perfect. I can eat some breakfast before they come. I packed my bag and carried it downstairs towards the kitchen. As I entered the dining room, I saw a plate with eggs, toast, and bacon sitting on the table. A fresh steaming cup of coffee sat next to the plate with the sugar and creamer on the side. I walked to the table and couldn't believe what I was seeing. Who made this? As I spoke aloud, a small red note caught my attention. Have a good day. Yours. Why didn't they say the name? That's kind of weird. My heart skipped a beat as I finished. I could tell it was from one of the boys. Maybe it was from him? I hope so. I smiled before putting the note in my bag and eating up. The food was so delicious, I devoured every amazing bite. I looked to the time again. Time to go. I quickly rushed to the doors, checking myself in the passing mirror. I wasn't wanting to impress anyone. Yeah, right. But I still needed to look decent. Before I could reach the handle of the door, however, someone took my hand. Huh? Oh. Hey there, baby. How you doing? I turned to see James, who was holding my hand back with a concerned frown on his face. Uh-oh.
My name.
Hmm? Your name?
My true name isn't James, miss. I want you to know my real name if something were to happen.
Oh, okay. His true name? What did he mean? Why was he telling me this now? James gently pulled me to him and leaned close to whisper in my ear.
My name is Raystra.
Ray Strow. Okay. As he said his name, I could feel it lock into my memory. Something in my head would make sure I would never forget it. James pulled away and smiled at me, despite still carrying worry in his eyes. Oh, you're worried about me leaving the house. Gotcha.
If you are in any danger, call my name. I promise that I'll come and help you.
Aww. I stared up at James, unable to say anything. I could only nod in response. James smiled before kissing my hand and heading into the dining room. Something told me that name would be used eventually. Of course. And right on cue, Naomi drove up to the gates with Suzu waving me down. I rushed out the door and we headed to school, talking about the homework in the coming day. We made it into the school without a hitch. Our lockers were in the same part of the hall, so we quickly unloaded what we needed to and got our important books and necessities. First incident of the day. Oh no. I have a bad feeling what's going to happen now. As I walked towards Suzu and Naomi, who were both waiting for me on the opposite side of the hall, something hooked my ankle and made me fall forward. Uh-oh. Whoa! Ow!
Hey, are you okay?
No, just my nose is broken and I probably lost a tooth or two, but other than that, I'm fine.
Who did that?
Yeah, who did that? Of course it's her. The three of us looked back to see Lisette and her gaggle of girls. Lisette had a look of complete innocence, while the girls around her giggled like no tomorrow. Which...
Why, you little...
oh boy.
Suzu, don't!
I felt a giant fire of anger burn in my stomach as I stared at Lisette. Today was not the only time this had happened to me. However, it was now clear who was behind these incidents. Even if she was innocent and one of her goons did it, it was now obvious that Lisette was the mastermind just from the look on her face. Oh, hell no. Okay, you know what? We're going to deal with this witch in the next episode, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this, and until next time, have a nice day. Bye.